Welcome back to more Dies Irae Amantes Amentes. This is uploaded on Saturday, which I usually don't upload anything on Saturdays. But I missed Friday, so I don't want to get behind in the story, so you're getting a Saturday episode, so enjoy. I suddenly realized that it was just before 9. It wasn't particularly late for me, but it probably was for the church. God has a bedtime after all.
Oh,
I don't want to, intrude. Yeah, he got weird, man. I don't know what his deal is. Likely due to some prior misfortune or other, Father Tria gulped down his wine and was now passed out in a heap. I guess even priests can have drinking problems. She? Okay. Okay. The female brigade showed no mercy. He's gonna be living here? So weird. Who does that? What? What? Yeah, I'm glad. I don't want to take a bath with him. I wasn't really sure what she meant by glad, but I decided to nonchalantly change the topic.
でも、なんでまた神父さんはこっちに戻ってきたんですか? 確かメキシコの辺境に飛ばされたとか言ってたけど。
Yeah, what's up with that?
それはつまり、いろいろあって。
最近はこの辺りも物騒でしょ? 正直、女の二人住まいっていうのも怖かったから。
なるほど。
Himuro and Sister Lisa both witnessed the body of the first victim directly. No matter how stout-hearted or, rather, disconnected they may have been, it was only natural to be scared by something like that. I mean, this might sound sacrilegious, but just because they lived in a church didn't mean that God would protect them.
こんな人でもいれば何かの役に立つかなと思ったのよ。
He's like a big pervert, though.
でもガードにしちゃちょっと頼りない気がしますよ。
Right? Yeah, it's like he doesn't really seem reliable. Like, I don't know.
じゃあ、藤井君が泊まり込んで私たちを守ってくれるの?
It would be my honor.
あら、いいわねそれ。そうしてくれると私も嬉しかったりするんだけど。
Why not? Way to put me on the spot.
何よその顔。
お前こそなんだその顔。
Seriously, what was with that really dirty look there? That mouth thing that she does. Sister Lisa chuckled to herself as she watched Kasumi and I exchange a silent glare.
ごめんなさい。冗談だから本気にしないで。藤井君は綾瀬さんの専属ガードなんだっけ?
I kind of want to... Can I even do that? Hang on. That's not what I want. Voice setting. Is this turning them on or off? Doesn't matter. Okay. Alright, enough of that. Because I kind of want to narrate the protagonist's line, because in most VNs the protagonist usually isn't voiced. So I kind of want to voice him. I mean, I can voice his thoughts or actions or whatever, but it just doesn't feel quite complete, you know what I mean?
別にそんなことはないですけどね。
またまた、照れない照れない。
I have a feeling if I do that though, you're all gonna hate me and like not watch my videos. I wasn't embarrassed though. She was though.
お前もな、そこで黙るなよ、うさんくさい。
うさんくさい？ はいはい。もうそういうの見飽きたから、それ以上はよそでやって。藤井君も彼女単純なんだからからかわないの。
Oh, Rhea, sweet summer child, it is because she is so simple that I tease her. Do you not see?
単純って、もしかして私のことバカだと思ってないですか？
No. No, I was not implying that at all.
きっと気のせい。
お前が短気なだけなんだよ。
Heaving a sigh, I looked to Father Tria. Unlike everyone else, he was flat out on the floor. The drunk.
このざまじゃ寝室まで運ぶの大変でしょ。俺がやるんで部屋を教えてください。
あら、本当に？ごめんなさい。助かるわ。
構いませんよ。悪いけどかすみ、先に出て待っててくれ。
わかった。じゃあ礼拝堂で待ってるから。
The girls then left the room. After seeing them off, I proceeded to carry the drunk Father Tria on my back. Wow, he was a lot heavier than I thought. He may have been thin, but it seemed like his height corresponded to his weight. This would have really been hard on Himuro and Sister Lisa. Right? That's what I said. I decided not to think about what would happen if he threw up on me or something. As I voiced a few grumbles with him on my back, Sister Lisa opened the door for me.
こっちよ、藤井君。ついてきて。
But man, no matter how many times I visited this place, I never ceased to be amazed at just how huge of a church it was. Like, holy crap.
本当にありがとう。助かっちゃった。
I took a breather after climbing a staircase at the end of the long hallway up to the 3rd floor, then tossed Father Tria into his room. Talk about hard labor. They'd probably changed him out of his clothes, but I was in no mood to stay and watch that. Instead, decided to make a hasty exit. Besides, Kasumi and Himuro must have grown tired of waiting for me by now.
Fuji-san.
Oh god, please shut up and go to sleep.
私、あなたとは仲良くなれそうな気がしますよ。
Shut up, please.
またぜひ、ぜひ遊びに来てくださいね。
What?
もう目が覚めたんですか？神父バレリア。
That's a cute look for her, right? Right.
当然ですよ。私、酔うのも冷めるのも早いって。あなたも知ってるじゃないですか。
You're drunk now, don't lie.
まだ説得力に欠けますね。
Her eyes moved
どう
just
ぞ
ever
お
so
休みになって
slightly.
ください。
That's a nice touch.
あまり聞き分けがないようですと、ベッドに縛り付けてしまいますよ。
Hello. What kind of church is this? Father Tria's alcohol-flushed face went white as a wax model in the blink of an eye.
さあ、いい子ですから、おとなしく寝てください。なんでしたら、子守歌でも歌いましょうか。
Can you sing me a lullaby? I have a hard time going to sleep. Please?
いや、それだけはご勘弁を。って藤井さん、見てないで助けてくださいよ。
No, I'm sorry. You already dug your own grave.
ごめんなさいね、藤井君。もうちょっとだけ待っててちょうだい。
Sure.
ああ、神よ。なぜ我を見捨てたも。
Sister Lisa took Father Tria back to his room as the latter let out a scream like he was just being dragged to the depths of hell. I found it hard to keep up with them, so I just stood there slack-jawed for a while. Eventually, Lisa came back out.
お待たせしちゃったわね、藤井君。まったくあの人ったら本当に全然変わらないんだから困ったものだわ。
You think he'd change his ways after following the path of God, but perhaps some people are beyond saving. Despite what she had just said, Sister Lisa didn't look bothered at all. Rather, she felt like a mother dealing with a problem child.
神父さんとは長い付き合いなんですか？
ええ、私の一番古い友人の一人なの。 あんな感じでちょっと困った人だけど、いいところもちゃんとあるのよ。
Sister Lisa Brenner, produced a warm smile. To Himuro, she was like a friend, a sister, and a mother all in one. I was apparently not what you'd call a sociable guy, but this woman was an exception. You know, seeing her smile alone, resembling that of the Virgin Mary, helped me cheer up. I mean, how could you not cheer up? Look at that face. That's a cute face. Makes you happy. Thinking about how Father Tria was paralyzed by that exact same smile, I couldn't help but feel pity for him.
まあどう見ても悪者には見えない感じの人ですね。先輩もああ言ってるけど、なんだかんだで神父さんのことが好きなんでしょ？
そうね。彼女はあれで照れ屋だから、きっと恥ずかしがってるのよ。
I mean, we know this guy's bad news because we saw him in a CG earlier with the Nazi guys, so we know he's bad news.
それにね。
I kind of feel like it'd be more interesting if we didn't know that right now, you know? And it's like, you got this guy, you know? He's a priest, you know? He seems kind of dorky, but whatever. But we know he's bad. We know he's bad. Sister Lisa beckoned me with a smile. What was she up to? Well, whatever it was, I can't say no.
彼女、もうすぐ誕生日なの。バレリア、
Oh.
神父様を呼び戻したのは、そういう理由からなのよ。
へえ。
Her birthday. I didn't know that. Huh.
いつなんです？
12月25日。
Of course
ク
it
リスマ
is.
スよ。覚えておいてね。
Christmas. She gets twice as many presents. Lucky.
わかりました。
But wow, you don't think she was born on that day, huh? Huh. A girl born on Christmas living in the church. My God must have really been looking out for her. Oh, then again. Maybe he retracted that kindness after hearing she'd say she'd graciously punch Jesus.
よかったら、その日は一緒に彼女を祝ってくれると嬉しいんだけど。
Well, sure.
いいですよ。霞にも言っときます。
It'll be fun.
本当？ありがとう、藤井君。
Oh, you're welcome. I try. Such a helpful person. She then tugged on my sleeve, making me realize she was almost as tall as me. Bringing her face close to mine, she...
Huh?
What? Wait, hold on. Did she just...
感謝の気持ちよ。だ
Did
か
she
ら
just...
あまり深く考えないで。
Did she... Oh, man.
はあ。
Forbidden fruit. Damn it. I scratched my still wet cheek. Well, that did leave me a bit surprised, but...
じゃあそういうことにします。
こりゃレアも綾瀬さんも大変ね。
She might have said that with a wry smile, but I was still quite happy about Sister Lisa's frank expression of thanks. And I wasn't as blind to what was going on around me as she might have thought. I was just not very expressive with my emotions.
それじゃあ俺帰りますから。
ええ、よければ下まで送りましょうか。
Oh, that's fine. I know where the stairs are. It's okay.
遠慮しときますよ。さっきので俺
How could we
ちょっと舞い
not?
上がってますから。
Oh, spring in our step all night.
まあ、
It's quite an out of character line for me to drop. But I said stupid things because I happen to recall something stupid. Now that said, it doesn't look like Sister Lisa was all that disappointed, judging from her reaction. Maybe there's something there. Probably not.
硬いのか柔らかいのか、よくわからない子ね。相変わらず。
Little column A, little column B. Assuming she meant that as a compliment, of course. Hopefully. After parting with Sister Lisa, I started walking down the empty hallway. I had thought about this earlier, but this church really was huge. Like, wow. It put a school or hotel to shame. It was that big. I wasn't sure if the architectural style was Gothic or Romanesque, but whatever. From a bird's eye view, the building apparently had the shape of a cross, a rather orthodox structure, if I was being frank. But my name is Ren, so that was simply way too much space for 3 people. It must have been hell to clean, not to mention lonely, you know, with all those empty rooms and all. I don't know why they just don't turn it into like a big like shelter for like the homeless or whatever. Seemed like a good idea, right? Right. Doing God's work, you know? You know, I wonder how Sister Lisa and Himuro felt about that. I mean, it was better than when it was just the two of them, but I didn't think Father Tria would be much help, to be honest. In fact, a place this huge would normally have at least 10 or 20 nuns. Although in that case, they probably wouldn't have allowed a man in. Probably. Feeling a bit giddy, I shook my head. Maybe carrying around the completely wasted Father Tria made me a little drunk as well, probably. Kasumi and Himuro were probably waiting for me at the chapel. I didn't know what they'd say if I kept them waiting for too long, so I decided to get a move on. Okay, hang on one second. You know what the heck with them, we're gonna explore the church. It's a big place. Who knows what's lurking in these halls. That said, I was a guy, and thus full of adventurous spirit in my own way. Surely 5 or 10 minutes of conducting my own exploration wouldn't hurt anyone. I figured they'd allow me to wander around, so long as I didn't go peeking into any rooms. I didn't know about God, but Himuro and Sister Lisa probably wouldn't get mad. Probably. Sister Lisa, no, she's a saint. She's a nun. I mean, she's something. But so I decided to explore. Still, I wasn't expecting to stumble upon anything amazing, really. After walking around as much as I could, I went back down the stairs. I already kind of figured, but this church really was shaped like a cross. Bringing up my mental map of the church as I walked, I realized that the altar location in the upper right of the Latin cross was right below me. In other words, this was the tip, and I'd reached the end of my little one-man excursion. I was about to turn around and head there when...
あれ? 藤井さんじゃないですか?
Oh, God damn it. Oh, no. Why the hell did this guy have to appear out of nowhere? How does he do it?
どうしました? あなたは礼拝堂に行かれたものだとばかり思ってましたが。
いや。
The hell was that? Oh, the Skype contact request. Huh, I haven't got one of those in ages. He addressed me in a neutral tone, yet I still found myself somewhat taken aback. True, I'd been wandering around for a while, but it should have been physically and chronologically impossible for him to cut me off.
忍者屋敷ですか、この教会は。
Yeah, what's going on here?
え? これはすみません。驚かせてしまいましたか。
Yeah, you did.
どうやってこんなところに？
秘密の抜け道です。
There's at least like a 20% chance you're telling the truth here. What? This place really was a trick house, wasn't it?
教会とは大概そういう作りになっているんですよ。
Seriously?
知りませんでしたか?
Oh, I wasn't, but if Father Tria said so, then perhaps it was true.
はあ。
I breathed a sigh of exasperation.
それはともかく復活早いね。シスターからどうやって逃げてきたわけ？
まあ、彼女は生真面目な人ですからね。騙すのはそう難しくないんですよ。水が欲しいとか言って、その隙に。でも、まだ逃げ回ってる最中ですから、黙っていてくださいね。今見つかったら、私半殺しにされちゃいますから。
It's kind of uncouth for a nun, isn't it?
俺はいいけど、神父が嘘ついたらダメなんじゃ。
Yeah. Yeah, you don't lie, do you?
ですから、ご内密にお願いしますよ。シスターにも。
Well, I can keep it a secret from Sister Lisa, but I'm afraid you're out of luck with God.
で、藤井さんはこんなところで一体
This is his
何を？
house. He probably hears you.
その、なんていうか迷ったみたいで。
I lied on instinct, even though I didn't really need to. By the time I regretted my actions, it was already too late.
本当は礼拝堂に行きたかったんだけど、こんなところに出てきちゃって、悪いけど道教えてくれないかな、神父
I
さん。
need to go to the shop. I'm getting married. Don't you see?
構いませんよ。しかしあなたも私に劣らずなかなか方向音痴のようですね。
Huh. I don't know my left from my right some days. Father Tria produced a beaming smile. seemingly happy to have met a kindred spirit of sorts. Not exactly the best thing to find camaraderie over, sorry. But there was no way I could tell him the truth at this point. I'm already in too deep.
さ、神父さん。
はい。礼拝堂まで案内するんでしたよね。
いや、その前に一つ質問。
I glanced over at the door Father Tria had emerged from.
この教会って他にも抜け道みたいなのがあったりするわけ？
は？そんなことに興味がおありなんですか？
You're talking to me. You're telling me about secret passages. How am I not curious?
多少は。
If there were, I'd figure it'd be cool to have him show me.
確かに他にもいくつかありますが、そう楽しいものではないですよ。そもそも脱出口の類ですから。
I don't care.
陰気ですしね。
脱出って何から？
Times of war, maybe?
敵です。
Enemies? The way he answered right away bothered me a bit. What enemies?
なんというかですね。教会というのは古来から籠城場所に使われることが多いので、その名残ですよ。半ば建築様式の一環になっていると言いますか。ともかく起源が起源ですから、あまり雰囲気のいいものじゃありません。幽霊とか出そうですよ。平気ですか？
Ghosts. I don't know about that.
苦手。
うん。でしたらここらで探検はやめておきなさい。元気がいいのは結構ですが、古い建物には時に良くないものも混じります。お分かり？
はい。
He must have seen through my eyes somehow. I figured he wasn't a priest just for show.
さあ、それでは行きましょう。あまり女性を待たせるのも悪いですしね。
Yeah, I'm keeping two waiting. How do you think that feels? Despite having said that, there was something oddly disconcerting about the way Father Tria carries himself. Almost like he was trying to flee from here. Weird.
どうも、ごちそうさまでした。それじゃあ、気をつけて帰ってね。
After once again thanking her for dinner, Kasumi and I decided to leave.
二人ともこの辺りの夜道は暗いから明るいところまで送らせてくれないかしら。
Ah, we'll be fine.
シスター。それはもしかして私に行けと？
ええ、そうですよ。どうやら元気が有り余っていらっしゃるようですし。
しかしですね。私などがいたところで何の役にも立たないと思うのですが。
縦代わりくらいなら十分果たせるんじゃないかしら。
Nice. Despite having said something quite ominous, Sister Lisa's lips curled into a wide smile. Father Tria turned pale enough that I was expecting him to faint at any second, but, well, you reap what you sow and all that jazz.
一応男手なら足りてるから気を使わなくてもいいですよ。そんなに遠いわけでもないし。それに神父さんが盾になるのは先輩とシスターのためなんでしょ？
That's true.
そうです。その通り。それに私、実は長旅の疲労が溜まっていまして、お役に立てそうもありません。ああ、残念だな。悲しいな。やっぱり旅費をケチって安い飛行機に乗ったのがまずかったのかな。シートがどうにも小さくて、こう体をずっと丸めてたから節々が痛いんですよ。
It does seem like you're pretty tall, man.
じじくさいね。
実際皆さんよりは年ですからね。
The priest spoke in a pitiable tone while purposely wiping his eyes. Sister Lisa merely heaved an exasperated sigh.
ま、腰痛とか二日酔いとか気をつけて。先輩は風呂とか着替えとか気をつけて。シスターは胃腸薬と頭痛薬を欠かさずに。俺たちは幽霊と殺人犯に気をつけて帰りますから。さようなら。
また明日。うん。バイバイ。
これからもレアと仲良くしてやってね。
Will do. Will do. Sister Lisa's motherly, well, she was Himuro's mother figure, but still. Remark prompted an awkward smile from me as I gave a light nod and turned to leave. However,
藤井さん。 すみません。言い忘れていたことがありまして。少しだけよろしいでしょうか。
Well, hurry up. I'm missing my soaps.
俺に
I turned around to face the priest after he called out to me.
はい。申し訳ありませんが。
In
綾瀬さん、
private.
彼をしばらくお借りしてもよろしいでしょうか。時間は取らせませんので。
私がいたらダメなんですか？
そういうわけではないですが。
Well, no, but yeah,
いえ
it is.
そういうことになるんですかね。ご理解いただけると助かります。
なんかそこはかとない疎外感を覚えますよ。
男同士の話ってことだろ。
Sumi still didn't look satisfied, so I placed a hand on her shoulder and jerked my chin.
ちょっと先で待っててくれ。すぐ終わるから。
いいけど、エッチな話じゃないでしょうね。
Probably.
そんなの知るかよ。
どうなんですか、神父様。
綾瀬さん、私は一応神父ですよ。
What's that supposed to mean? Could still be pervert?
女の子と一緒にお風呂入るのが好きな神父様。
Exactly.
ですね。何か誤解をなされているようですが。
もういいから。お前もいちいち絡むなよ。
As Kasumi was getting too loud for comfort, I waved my hand to shoo her off.
じゃあ、なるべく早く済ましてよ。私だって怖いんだからね。
Ah, you'll be fine.
分かってるよ。目の届く範囲にいればいいだろ。
Convinced at long last, Kasumi trotted off to about 10 meters away. Now then, what did the priest want to discuss?
手短に頼むよ。知ってると思うけど、あいつすごい短気だから。
That'll be important.
分かっています。ありがとう。それで話というのは他でもないあなたと綾瀬さんのことなんですが。
We're not dating. That's what you're getting at.
お二人とも生まれはこの町で？
Yes.
違う
No.
けど。
No, we weren't. What?
それが何？
I don't know where I'm born. Let's tell you. I found myself taken aback by his unexpected question. Why did he go out of his way to ask me that? Of all things.
俺もかすみも今の学校に入学するときこっちに越してきた口だけど。
そうですか。いや失礼。どうやら今あまり良くないことが町で起きていると聞いたので、もしもこの町の生まれでないのならと。
What's that supposed to mean? Father Tria weaved his words in an unclear voice, his expression turning sour. In other words,
田舎に帰った方がいいんじゃないかって。勘弁してよ。
we're staying here. I live here.
ですが。
ごめん。ちょっと待って。
Well, great. I scratched my head, trying to choose my words carefully.
学校が休校してるわけじゃないんだし、そんなことできないよ。俺ただでさえ日数足りてないんだから。心配してくれるのはありがたいけど、これでも一応用心はしてるんだし。
一応とはどの程度で？失礼ながら認識が甘いように思われますが。
You don't even know us, man.
食い下がるね。
I felt a bit surprised. Why was he so worried?
先輩も休校にならない件で怒ってたけど、そんなに危ないと思うならそっちこそって話だろ。俺たちの心配なんかしてないで。
それは私は神に仕える身ですから。
十字架で追い払えるのは吸血鬼だけなんじゃなかったっけ？
I doubted that being a priest or a clergyman would ward off the killer's blade. In fact, it would only make him more likely a target.
心配するなとは言わないけど、他人のことばかり気にしてると自分がおろそかになるんじゃない？俺でもそっちの心配もしてるんだから。
In short, having someone else excessively worried about you only made you concerned about them. Right? Right. Putting yourself first was of utmost importance. I got the feeling the world wouldn't be functioning so well if I were any other way. Everything else would likely end up one-sided and incomplete. Upon hearing my admittedly rude remarks, Father Tria made a troubled expression, his lips forming a gentle smile.
参りましたね。私の古い友人にもあなたと同じようなことを言った人がいましたよ。残念なことにそういう人ほど創生しやすい。生きる速度が私のようなものとは違うんでしょうね。おかげでよく置いてけぼりを食らいます。ですから。
ちょっとストップ。やめてくれよ、そういうの。
That was some ill omen stuff. He sounded like an old geezer. Seriously, what made Father Tria and Kasumi think that I was the kind of guy who die young? I mean, I did try to be a pacifist and everything.
だいたい俺は自分を第一に考えてるって言ってるのに。
I mean, I'm more fond of the Atlantic, but I'll take what I can get.
そういう人ほどいざという時に事故を顧みないものなんですよ。危険な局面に置いて逃げること、または誰かに助けてもらうことを良しとしない。美観の問題ですが、あなたはそういう人のように見受けられます。違いますか？
Guy's really good. Sure, I was guilty of that, but
結局その話っていうのはそういうこと？悪いけど説教ならミサの時にしてくれよ。なんだったら顔出すから。
いえ、そうではなく、私はただ。
ちょっとレーン、いつまで話してんのよ。
ああ。
And there it was.
ってわけで、なんか短気なやつが怒鳴ってるから、その話はまた今度。神父さんも俺の心配してる暇があったら、シスターにいじめられないように気をつけなよ。
She gets pretty mean.
それじゃ。
The atmosphere was getting quite stiff, so Kasumi's short temper was honestly a blessing in disguise. Father Tria was quite the oddball, to be sure, but he certainly liked preaching. No wonder he was a priest, right? Either way, dealing with people like that had never been my forte. However...
藤井さん、最後に一つ。
What?
あなたは先ほど田舎に帰らないとおっしゃった。
I don't have any parents.
それに、
Parents? What were those?
心配も何もあったことないよ。俺が赤ん坊の頃に死んだって聞いてる。
そうですか。これは申し訳ない。失言でしたね。
いや。
Parents or not, I couldn't just find it in me to feel sad over the deaths of complete strangers whose faces I'd never even seen. I wasn't a cold-hearted, unfeeling bastard or anything. Rather, I figured it had more to do with human psychology.
では、会いたいと思いますか？もしそれを叶える方法があるとしたら。
What?
質問が増えてるよ、神父さん。
I met his question with a bitter smile. How typical of a clergyman. Wanting to be reunited with the dead.
そんな気持ちの悪いこと思わないし願わない。そういうのを望むやつは頭がおかしい。
What I wouldn't give. Driven mad by love, thinking too lightly of death. I saw no beauty in that line of thinking. In fact, I found it extremely repulsive. People once lost can never be brought back. And that was exactly why we treasure them. So whatever came back had no value whatsoever. I mean, it was no different from equating human life to trash. Time on this earth is precious. You never know when your loved ones are going to go. Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be 20, 30 years from now. It doesn't matter. Life is fickle.
墓から這い出てくるのは何であれゾンビだよ。親でも友達でも恋人でも、そんな気持ち悪いものには変えられないし、変えちゃいけない。俺はそう思うけど。
Look at that look. He's like mad.
なるほど。
See that? For a moment there, he was like, what?
確かに あなたのおっしゃる通りかもしれませんね。
You obviously did not like our answer.
重ねて失礼。それではまたミサに来ていただけるのでしたら、続きはその時に。
わかったよ。
Well, I considered him a nice enough guy and everything, but talking to him just made me feel all uneasy inside. Man, I was really terrible at doing all these kinds of people. Father Tria breathed a light sigh and, wearing a troubled expression, watched the young man walk off into the distance. He had only intended to make some small talk, but it appeared he'd gotten caught up in the conversation. The lights in the chapel were already out, indicating that Lisa and Theresa had likely returned to their own rooms. They were treating him rather coldly, but not much could be done about that. For now, that was indeed the more convenient way for things to be.
しかしまあ、正直肝を冷やしましたね。
The priest's troubled smile widened to a masochistic grin as he reflected back on that prior conversation. His shoulders wouldn't cease trembling. Indeed, the departed could never return to life, nor should the living wish for it to happen. The dead would return to the earth, the living would mourn and pray. Most would no doubt label that as common sense, right? But the world was an intricate web of masks, the true intentions lurking behind them. Two forms of common sense, one rooted in morals, the other birthed by sentimental arguments, would clash from time to time. In this case, which side would be the minority in the simplest sense? Okay, let us assume that our friend had died. Certainly, neither we nor the deceased must have wished for this outcome, right? No one wants to die, right? Then what had to be done? Even as we suffered from nightmares each and every day, even as the lamentations of the dead tormented us to the point of insanity, could one still cling to morals in spite of that? Yes. For instance, what about merely thinking it? A convenient delusion, a cliched miracle. One could consider it infantile, or ridicule it as stupid. Yet even as they labeled it sacrilegious, blasphemous, or taboo beyond belief, didn't most people wish for their loved ones to come back, if only to say, I love you?
あなたはどう思いますか、レオンハルト。
What was that? Accompanied by the howl of the wind, the girl approached the priest from behind. It appeared she witnessed the whole thing from beginning to end. She had no presence at all, but the two of them likely maintained an unspoken bond. Father Tria showed no particular sign of being surprised at all.
どうとはつまり彼の意見に対してですか？
ええ。何かしら感じるところがありましたかね。
別に何も。思想は個人の自由です。
つまり気分は害していないとおっしゃる。怖いですね。冗談ですよ。ともかく私としては助かりました。あなたが抑えてくれたのはもとよりカインに聞かれなかっただけでも僥幸です。あれはいささか手に負えない。
であれば不用意な発言は控えていただきたいと思います。あなたは少し昔からいたずらが過ぎる。
確かにこれは宦官の至りですね。以後気をつけるといたしましょう。
Tria sounded a lenient chuckle while readjusting his glasses. Sighing, the girl proceeded to give him a sidelong glance.
無礼を承知で言わせてもらえば軽挙妄動ではないでしょうか。中の彼女たちにしてもそういつまでも騙されてはくれないでしょう。ただでさえあなたの魂は巨大すぎます。本来ならもういくらか場が整うまでシャンバラに入るべきではなかったと思いますが、
それは前にも言ったでしょう。副首領閣下の砲術は 私ごときの侵入でひび割れるほど脆い代物ではありませんよ。まあ勇み足だったのは認めますがね。我々には過去があります。若いあなたにはわからないかもしれませんが、少しはそれを信じなさい。
カゴ？もしかして神のですか？
いいえ、私の神はもういません。では何のという指摘もあるでしょうが、とりあえず今そんなことはどうでもいい。ただリザとテレジアにはまた嫌われてしまうでしょうが、これも務めなればやむなしといったところでしょう。私の言いたいことはわかりますね。
はい。
結構でしたらば行きなさい。現場の判断はあなたに任せますが、ベイとマレウスがやりすぎるようなら止めるように。あの少年どうもきな臭い。うまく言えませんが、何か良くないものがついている。まあこのシャンバラはおかしな人間が生まれやすいし集まりやすい。当たり外れはともかくとして、網にかかれば試すことにもなるでしょう。結果何が釣れるかは分かりませんが、
それ次第で臨機応変。了解しました、陛下。
頼みましたよ。あなたには期待している。
Following a light nod, the girl turned to leave. However, in sharp contrast with her otherwise courteous demeanor, the way she carried herself appeared to clearly suggest a rebellious will. Merely exchanging words with the man seemed to make her sick.
やれやれ、どうも嫌われていますね。
But that, too, felt only natural. While the priest's heart bled at the notion of receiving the young maiden's distaste, he had no time to waste on bettering their relations. For indeed he had many a task to attend to, desires to fulfill, goals to achieve, a craving that burned bright in his chest, never to be extinguished, a sentiment so unlike him, both as a man of God, as well as one of in his position, and yet...
残念ながら私は俗物なのですよ。ネモアンテモルテムベアトゥス。そんなざれ言、かけらも信じられないのでね。
Indeed, he had many a task to attend to. For in order to realize those fairy tales of the young and fair, at least one demon was required to labor tirelessly in the background, away from prying eyes. Time was of the essence, for those devils in human skin would soon return. In order to prepare for the coming of that day, the priest would take all the measures he deemed necessary. And so, tonight's opera would no doubt turn out to be one worthy of remembrance.